What's up, people? Welcome to day 13 of this full stack courier services application. If you're here, you deserve a gold. You have come a long way. Now we have left with two videos, that is day 14 and day 15, and our project will be over. So in the last video, we worked on fetching the data, and we worked on fetching the data on this admin side. We worked on updating and deleting here. So today I'm planning to work on creating this order here and also searching functionality here. Those are the two features that we look, and because I feel that it will need some time, so I want to dedicate them for this day 13, so that we look even the adding of location using Google Map. So that's what we'll be covering today. So if you are new here, consider subscribing, like this video so that it may reach many people. I will work as best as I can to give you the best, and then after that, now if you already have gone the other videos, you already know what is coming. Like the video and let's get into the tutorial here. So here we will start by creating our order here, and now if you remember, you have gone through the other videos, remember we don't require this name, but we require date. So let us change and give it add the functionality for adding the dates in our parcel. So just go back in our code in our admin side and open this HTML here. Let me close these services and everything that we don't require here. So just like that, let me close that. So now come here and we can look at where we had that functionality for adding, or where we added those forms, and it is right here. So what we'll do, we just copy this or cut it, and we'll give it we will paste it down here to be the last one, and then I will call this dispatch date, the day that parcel has been dispatch date, and here we will call now this date, just like that. So now if we reload, we can see the changes. So let us see the change. So you can see now here we can add the dates. So you can click on this icon here and we can select the date, and it will be shown here the date that you have selected. So you can select another date just like that. So now we need to get values that we'll be adding here, like send an email, receive an email, weight, and everything that we require to add on our parcel. So to add as our things that we as information for our parcel. So what we need to do, we need to use Angular forms, and in our scenario here I want to use reactive forms. So I believe that you know what reactive forms are, or if even if you don't know, I will show you. So what we need to do, we need to add a module called reactive forms, and remember we are adding these reactive forms here in our admin, because in our admin module, remember if we didn't have this module, we could have added it in app.module.ts, but since we have an independent module here, we need to add it just here. So what we'll do, we just come here and type reactive forms module. You can already see the auto completion for us here. So now after that, we need to initialize it. So come here in your component here, and what we'll do, we start by creating that form. So we just say form, or we can say form group, whatever that you want to call it, and we say form and then give it exclamation mark there, and now we can call it form group. We want to import form group should be form group. Can call it form group just like that, And now after that, now we can now initialize it, and we need to initialize it here at our ng on it. So first thing we need to do is just say this now dot form, and we want to create a new instance called new form group, and this is how you use reactive forms in Angular. So now we can call that, and we can give it an instance that accepts an object. So this object now we will target our forms and how we call them. So now the first thing that you should do, remember, is just initializing this form here and give it a type of form group, and then here you create an instance. So now the first one that we will require is sender email, as you remember, and now we can say new form control, just like that. And what we need here, we need to give it two parameters, which the first one we give null, and the second one should be array. Array, now we can give validators. This array contains validators, and the first validator that I require is validators dot required, and the second one should be validators dot email, and this will help us because we won't add if that email is not if the email is not satisfactory, meaning that we can't add this sender email if our email doesn't satisfy the requirement for the email. So, and then we need to add another one here called receiver email. Now receiver email, and this is recipient email. So now what we need to do is just copy this, the first one here, because it's the same thing. So let's add it here, just like that. And then there is another called track ID. We call track ID, and this one here now just say new. It is the same, but now we won't have the data for email because this one is not email. So I need to copy it, and if you're having some trouble understanding what we are doing here, so you can just go and read more about reactive forms in Angular, but you can go through the video and then later on go and look the reactive forms in Angular. It's really easy, and that's why I feel like Angular is great when you already know how to use it, because it has everything built on it, including forms and validators. For frameworks or libraries like React, you need to do it yourself. It is not built in, or you need to add third-party packages. So now the other thing is wait, and now from here we just copy and paste and change our form value. So now we just copy and paste, just like that. So this one here should be wait, just like that. Here it should be cost or price. Need this to be price, and down here the other one should be location, and this one here should be destination, and the other one here should be or will be dispatched. It should be markers. Dispatched date, just like that. And now we need to remove this one because we don't need it. So this one are okay. So it is sender email, receiver email, track ID, wait, price, location, destination, and dispatch date. So now let's see if we have these forms. Yeah, like four forms or 4 input that we require. And this one we have send an email. Let us see, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. So there is a one that I'm not seeing. Yeah, it should be 8. Let me look what never we added 2 times. Maybe we don't have price here. Let me look for price. Yeah, we didn't add price here. So let's come here in our HTML, and now we can add on price. So let's copy this here and paste after the weight here. Let's give it a cost here. So this one should be price here, price for sending our parcel, and here now it should be number, because remember it should be a number, it should not be a text. And this one will help to avoid somebody adding text. So now that's okay. So the other thing that we need to do now, we will add a form here. We'll add a form so that we use the form to validate and to get the values. So we just say form, and now this should cover from there. Let me cut it and place it down here. It should cover all this, and now that's okay. Now we should start now working on this now, getting the values from here. So the first thing that you need to do, we need to start by accessing the form. Remember, the form is here, this form here this form that we initialize here. We need now to use it in order to validate or to make sure that we have validated the forms and we have done everything that will help us to get the values. So just come here now. The first thing that you need to do is to bind on form group. So just bind form group, just like that, and then this form group, you should call it form, because we need to give it the value of forms, which we initialized here in our component, if you remember this one. So you bind and you give that value of form. So another thing that you need to do is now add this event called ng-submit, and this will help us when we click the button for submitting. It will take every value in our form. So we just say, and we give it a function called onSubmit. Remember, we have not created this function, so let us create it in our component here. So we just add it here and submit just like that, and then leave it like that for now. So now you need to add form control here and give the name that is required to get the values from the form. So the first one here is form, should say form control, just like that, and it should be form control. And this one here, it is it will give it the value of sender email. Remember, it should match the same name that we called it here in our component here. This one, the name that you give that form or input value, this name here that you called should match the input that you are using here. So this one should be form control of sender email. And now let's copy this one here and paste it to save on time. So add that. This should be receiver email, and this one here should be weight. So let's get the weight. And here we need to add price, should be price. just like that. And down here there's a cost here. Okay, should be, I don't remember adding this cost, but for now let me first of all remove this for the cost and see. So let me add here for location first of all. So here we have here for location, and here we need to add for destination. Come here and add destination, and here dispatch date, dispatched date. Let me see if we have dispatch date. First of all, let us remove this. And here in our component, I don't know if we have dispatch date. Yes, we have it. So we have this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to make it match. So we have now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this one that I'm not added here. I've not added here. So, and I don't know which one is it. Let me just look, see which one I have not added. Come here in our component, and it is this track ID. So let's come here, okay, in our code and HTML, add this notation here, copy it, and up here before it, let's add here track ID. Just say track ID, and this one we should add here track ID. I'm planning on to work on a tutorial explaining about reactive forms and the other template forms and form builders in the next couple of projects that are coming. So stay there, stay tuned, hang in there. So now after that, now we can do something here in order for us to make sure we have added value so that this button can be activated. So what you should do, you should bind disabled property, disabled here, and now we can say, now if form dot is all invalid, just like that. That is to say, or it is valid because we are using this exclamation here, meaning if that form is not valid, now it should be disabled. You cannot click this button here. So now that's all that I wanted to add there. So let's test it. First of all, what we need to do now, we should come into our component here and now try to add to paste. Then you can just use console log and paste the form and see if it is getting or it is populating the value into our forms. So we just add that and we can say value, or we can just to see if we can get the values here, and then we'll connect this with our backend. That is, so that's all that I wanted there. So let's save it and save this one. Let's reload our application here. So let's see what is happening. So form control, and you can see what the problem is here. So we have this error. It's saying that type string is not assignable to type form control any, and I know where the problem is. So just go back into your code. Kind of lied to you guys. This one here in our HTML, this one should be form control name. It should not be form control. Say form control name, and here form control name, just like that. Okay, let me all of them. Yeah, should be form control name, should not be form control, so it should be that one there, that one, add it here and add it here. So again, all of them have now form control name, those inputs. So let's see now. So you can see now we have, it is working, it's okay. So now we need to open our console and here to inspect on values. So let me console log there, and then open this from here, and now we can add, let me say something like james@gmail.com, can say daf@gmail.com, have track ID, can give anything, can have cost. So when you adding here in await, you see you can't add any characters unless it's number. So we have now here 340, have maybe location to be Nairobi, and maybe location to be Canada, something of the sort. And now we can add the dates, and then when we click, you will see now we have the values here. You see the values here, and you can open here and see how we are getting the data, destination, dispatched, location, price, everything that is, we can get it here. But remember, when you are adding here, let me close this console there. So when we want to add like location here, we want to get location from our Google Map, because we need to get those longitude and latitude so that we can add markers. So what we need to do now, we need to use Google Map or Google Map module, and likely enough, because I don't want us to waste a lot of time, so I have other things that we need to copy from our Google Map. And first of all, what we need to do is we need to add a module here, or the module for Google Map. You can say Google Map module, Google Maps module, and now after that we can copy these imports here, and we can copy information, this information afterward, though we don't require it for now. So let me paste those two information there, and we can add it, or we can add it for ourselves. And there's I think there's a module that we need to install. So in order to use those to import, actually I'm not in component, we should add it here in our component. So those two, to use those, we need to add this Google Map location, it is called Google Map location, and we can see the module here, so we need to install it. So we just say ngx Google Map, Google place this one here. So we can just add those, we can look for this npm package here and install it. So let's load. So we need to copy this here. Let me copy it. We can just copy it here. Just like that, and then we come here, add it, let it install, and now here we need this one here, but we already added it when we are displaying the map, but we'll just add another one. So let me copy this, come into index.html here. So we can add it here, just below the other one. Yeah, it is the same module, so it's the same script, so there is no need for adding it actually. So already we have it, so there's no need. So let me remove it, and then we can see if it has completed adding it. So just let's see if it has completed. Yes, it has completed. So now let's come into our module here, and now we can try to add this Google Press module here, just like that. So you can see we have this Google Press module that will help us to get locations. So now from here we can try and get this Google Presses autocomplete, just like that, and this one. Let me just copy them again because it will take a lot of time for me to get them correct. So let them copy there. So you can see we have those two. We have these two imports that we have done in our component here. And if you are having trouble, I will be pushing this code so you can counter check for yourself. So now another thing that we need now is to come here in our where we are adding the location in our input for location and destination, and we need to add several things. We need to say ngx, and we need to add this Google Map or Google Presses autocomplete. It should be autocomplete. I'm just checking. So now after that, we need now to give it an event. We can add this event so that we can get longitude and latitude. We can write on this on address change, and this is here event will come from our Google autocomplete module. So here we will have two functions, the one for the destination and one for the location that the parcel should be sent from. So we call this handle sender address change, just like that. And now here we can call an event. We can call this event, and again now we can copy this and paste here at our destination here, our input here, together with this here. So we just copy it, paste it. But remember, this should be another function, because let me first of all add this. Okay, so now we need two functions, this one for sender and this one for receiver. Yeah, receiver, just like that. And what we need to have is we need to have these two functions, because they will help us to get our longitude and latitude for destination, for the parcel location, and for the destination here. Remember, if we need to display the markers, and by markers I mean those red markers in our Google Map, we need to get longitude and latitude. So now we are using this event to get and add have these two functions that will have this event that we can use now to get longitude and latitude. So come here in our component, because we need to add these two functions. Come here in your component, and now we can add those two functions. We add above and submit function. So what we add here, we'll add first of all handle this sender address change, just like that. And remember, now here from we are getting an event, and maybe the other one should be handle. Here should be handle receiver. So this one should be receiver address change, just like that, and then add it there. So we have these two here, and now from our event we can get address. So what we need to do, we need to get address here. So it says address, and this one should be of type address. Remember, we are accessing address, or we are importing this type of address here, this one that is here. So that's where we are getting our address. And then here we need also the address, and remember, this address we are getting it from an event, because when we are tapping on the input, we should generate the event that will help us to get this address. Remember, here we are accepting this event, and this event is the one that is address, and we are giving it a type of address because it should be of type of address that is coming from Google Map. So now what we need to do here, first of all, let's create an array that will store an object that will contain latitude and longitude. So for us, so what we do here, let's add this array here called marker positions or Google position. You can call it like that, and it should be of Google, and can say dot maps, and dot, it should be lat long, and these are longitude, latitude. Retrero should be this one here, and it is an array, so it should be like that, and it should be an array. So to start with, okay, it should be an empty array first of all, so just like that. And now we can get this array, and because we need a type of marker, let me add a type of marker or an interface for a marker, because I don't want to have a type of any. So I had created an interface here called marker that is an object of latitude and longitude. Just copy it here, and we can add it here, or we can add it in our interface. Let me use our interface folder here and create a marker.ts, just like that. And now let us paste this interface here, because this one will be using it to create our marker, the marker object, which will store two of them that contain longitude and latitude to this here, our array that is called marker positions, just like that. So now what we need to do, we need to create a marker, and a marker is an object of type marker, just that is coming from our in our interface. So now we can add it like that. So now here from our address we need to access several things. So what we'll do, we have this dot, we can say this dot marker, because remember it is an object. So we'll get this, we'll give it this one here as a, because it is an object of longitude. We can give this latitude to have address because we'll be accessing now from this address here. Let me call address, and we can get from address, we can get geometry and location, and now we can get that this one here. We can call that function and it will give it as latitude. So from there now we need to add longitude, and this one also we should call this function, but it should call a function of longitude. So let me add it here, and then here it should be longitude now, and this is how you get those two. So from there, first of all, I want us to console log them. So we just console log this dot marker just there, and then the same thing we will do here, copy and paste here. So now remember, we need to create an array that contains two objects of type marker that will contain longitude and latitude and longitude for our destination and our location. So this one here for the sender address, this should be for location. So after we have gotten these two longitude and latitude, what we need to do is just say this dot marker position dot marker position, because this is array now we can push, and we should push this dot marker just like that, and the same thing down here. It is the same thing that we need to work on here, just like that. So now that's okay, so that's correct. So now here I know most people will be having a trouble of understanding what we are doing, but remember we are binding into our HTML here. We are binding this event here called address on address change, meaning it will reason for every time that you are keying in the value in your input, and then it will call this function here, this called handle sender address. And when you get a place and then click enter, it will get latitude and longitude, and it will get that by calling this function called address from address, geometry, location, and latitude, and it will get this longitude through calling this function here. That's all that I wanted to show you there. So now that's I need us to test and see how it will work. So let's first of all save. Actually, let me save here and close this. So now save it. So now let's come here into our application here. So let's see if we have an error. So guys, I had an error that took me a long time. So first of all, I paused the video to look at the error that I was getting, and it turned out that here at my terminal, here I was installed this ng Google Places autocomplete when I was in this location, or in our Courier application here, which made our application not work correctly, because it never installed in our frontend, because we need to go inside the frontend folder and then now import and now install this ngx Google Places here. So that was the mistake that I did. That's why we had an error. And then after I installed into frontend, it brought some another error. So what I did, I just stopped this application here, and I started it again, and it worked. So if you come across that error, just look for those places and then continue with the project. So now let's see how it is working now on auto-completing our places, Google Places. Now what you need to do is to just click here, create order, And first of all, I just want to show you what is the compression for location here using Google Map. So first of all, the first thing that you need to see now or to notice is that we have not added this enter location placeholder in our input. That's true. You can see here, first of all, we haven't added any placeholder saying that please enter the location, but you can already see that this here directive that we added here, mgx Google Map Google Places autocomplete, that is coming well from this directive here. Let me show you the directive. This directive up here, this Google Place directive, it is adding that placeholder for us, this one, this enter location. So now let's click here, and now let's start adding something like Canada. So let's say Canada, and you can see we have this auto completion of our location. So let me click at it, and I want you to look at this console window here and see what will be printed. So when you click, you can see now we have this longitude and latitude that we have. We have this object that contains latitude and longitude, and we give it a type of marker, that is. So now maybe say here Nairobi, and we can click on it. It will complete for us, and you can see we have these two. We have these two objects, that is longitude and latitude of the location, and longitude and latitude of the destination. So that's what I wanted to show you. But now I just want us to click or to just print, to just console log our array that we are adding here, those locations. So let's come here into our component, and then what I want us now to do here in our handle sender address, now we need to let us console log this marker position array, just like that. And now down here we need to console log this marker position here, marker position there. So now let's save, and we can just see what what will our array look like. So first of all, click here, just come here in your location, maybe write Nairobi, something of the sort. So when you click at this auto completion here, it should add. I don't know why it is not adding. And here, let me see Canada or anywhere else. So let's click there. So you can see we have these two. Our array contains these two places here. It contains two objects. The first one, it contains this longitude and latitude for the sender, or for the location where the parcel is sending from, and the other one is where the destination, the longitude and latitude of the destination. So that's what I wanted to show you there. So now we have everything that we need now to save on our database. So what we just do, let us confirm what we require in our services in order to send this data to our backend or to save it in our database. So let's look where we build the services. So these are the services, and inside here services, let's look for creating the parcel. Yeah, so you can see what we need to get. We need all this information from our form. So what we need to do, let me first of all paste, just format them a little bit. So let me see how it will look, because I just want to use them to save on some time. So copy them there, and now what we'll do, just come in our component here, and now when we are submitting here, we just say first of all, let us check we just check, we just say if this dot form dot value, meaning we have values, although it's not necessary. What we should do, because it will, or if we don't have values in our forms, it won't give us that, it will disable our button so for submitting. So what we need to do is to look if, first of all, if our is dot marker position dot length, meaning we need to look if it has added those longitude and latitude in our array. Then now we can just call our service. So we just say this dot parcel service and then create parcel, and you can see now we need here all these values here. So let me copy this here in order to guide us. So to get this sender email and all these values, what we need to do is just say this dot form and then dot sender email, just like that. We need now this dot form dot receiver email. We need now, let me add it here, so we just add them here. So we need that this dot form or dot value should be this dot form dot value. I forgot that, so it should be this dot form dot value dot that and this dot value dot that. So now I need to just copy and paste so that we can save time. So now that should be 7 of them or 8, just like that. So let me come here. So we need to add all of this. So what we need to do, so you can see we have receiver email. Now here we need to add, track ID. We need to add here location, and we need here to add destination. We need to add here destination dispatch date. We need to add here weight, and we need price. We need price now here, price, and we need here another seed, because we have already gotten everything now. It is auto. It has the error has been or it has eliminated the error because we are already receiving the values that we need in order to use this create parcel. These are the values that it requires. But this one, the last one here, mark as it. We should give it that we should stringify this. We should stringify this array here, and we keep it in our database as a string, so that when we be using in our user side to show the user the markers in our Google map, what we'll do is just JSON pass and get that array and then loop that array and then place those markers in our map, just like that. So now here what we need to do here, just do a little bit different. So we just say markers, and these markers you can say we just first of all this one dot pass, and then from here now dot stringify should be stringify, and now from here we can say this dot marker positions, just like that. And now it should be okay. So let me see what it is telling us. Yeah, so we need overload, so we need to have all this. So we need to have every value here: sender email, receiver track ID, location destination, dispatch date, weight, price, and markers here. So let's see, okay, what the problem is. So find name, or we can just, okay, you should give it, or we can add it just like that. Yeah, it would be correct. So now let me remove this here. Now we have everything that we require here. So now let me save, and we will add we'll add a parcel now. So let's see how adding our parcel will look like. And to create to make you understand, first of all, what we are doing, remember we created our service here, our service, before we continue with testing our application. Remember we had this service here, and this service was we created this function here that was requiring all this, because this will be sent in our backend, like in a body, just like this, and then this one will be saved in our database, because our database require all this, or our table that is parcel require these values in order to save that entry in our database. So that's all that I wanted to show you there. So I'm hoping that you are getting, and if you're not getting, please go review my code, because I'll be pushing, and I will add that GitHub link in our description, so that you guys can go and find or just see what was happening, or you can just go back, watch this video for the second time and the third time until you get what you are doing here. It is some complex stuff, but I'm really doing my best to make you understand. So now we need to just reload our application. Let's see. Now come here, and first of all I need to just open this so that we can see the record that will be saved. So first of all, let me remove this, and let me execute this query here. So now we need to look for the one that will be added, and remember, the one that will be added, it should have a status of 0 and deletion of 0. So let me first of all go back into our application, come here. Now we need the first email, or we need the first email which for the sender. So I'll just keep my emails like that, and the second one should be mine too, and I'm using my email because I can access the inbox. So just like that, and then ID. You can even give this one some ID that you know can be auto-generated. If you want to give this up, you want to put this, or to just create this application for production. So weight we can give 20, and then price we can give 200, and then location, let's say Canada, just like that, and we need to add maybe Kenya or Nairobi here, and now we can choose the date. So today is date 10, I'm hoping, and now we can just click this here. So click it. So let's see. So I will just come here later on and show you how to reset these forms, because you need, when you click here, you need to reset so that you know that that data has gone. So because at this time we can click even 3 times and it would add this parcel 3 times, and we don't want that. So let's come here and then run it again, and we can see, we don't see any parcel that has been added. So let's see where the error is coming from. And I know where the error is coming from. So let's go back here on submit, and remember we need to subscribe here. So let us subscribe, and when we are subscribing we get a value. A value should be a message. Remember we are sending a message from our backend saying this has been created successfully. So now here we say value, and now this one, remember we should give it subscription because we need to unsubscribe. So just like that, and then let's see. So let us add let me first reload it and create it again. So now we need to create a new one because I forgot to add that subscribe. Or maybe before that, let me show you how to reset. After it has this one, you have sent the data to our database. What we need to do here, we should come and say this .form, and you can say .reset. You can reset using this function here, just like that, and then let me save and then reload. Should be okay now. And here we can add sender, or we can say my email. So let me add my emails here. And track ID, you can give it here, or you can add a functionality whereby it will be generating for you. So this weight, you can give this weight to be 20 and price to be 200. So you can say maybe here Texas. Let's add here maybe Texas. Yeah, Texas. You can add it here, and you can say here Canada, just like that. You can add it like that, and then choose the day. It is day 2, and then let's see what will happen when we click this button. So when we click, you can see it has reset the form. So you can't add 2 times the same. You can't add the same parcel multiple times. So now let's see if it has saved. So you can see we have this parcel that has been created. See, the location is Texas and destination is Canada, the date, price, and already you can see now we have this here, our array that has this longitude and latitude, longitude and latitude. This latitude and longitude, this is for Texas and this is for Canada. That's all that I wanted to show you there. So now we have created that, and remember when we reload now, we should get that parcel here. You can see we have this parcel that has here we have this destination that is coming from Texas, and we have this destination to be Canada and location to be Texas. So now you can update it. So, and when you load, you'll see that it has been delivered, and after a while now we should see the emails. I'm hoping you can see how everything is coming together and working together. So let me open that, because you should receive an email because we have marked it as delivered. So after that, now what we should do, or what we need to do, just come here, and now another thing that now we need to do, first of all we need to create so I want first of all to remove these options that I added here, I was just adding them when I had an error to see what was wrong. So you can remove it because we don't need them, or we don't need this from here, center, zoom, what. This one will be using it in our user side because we need to show the map. So now that's okay now. So after that, now I need to create a search function such that when you come here into our parcel here and click here, just type here, you just start to see like how you are searching it. You can see like you need to add a pipe where when you add like 19, you can just see it is only 19 that is showing here as parcels. So what we need to do is just learn how to use something called pipe, because I don't want us to make a request to our backend to just search this data, because we already have the data in our array. So I don't want us to make a request because that would be inefficient for us to code like that. So pipe will just do filtering for us. So what you need to do, if you haven't used pipe in Angular, just come here and say pipe Angular and learn more about pipe or pipes. So you can see pipes, what they do, they transform data. In our scenario, it will transform the array that we have, and it will give us an array containing the values that we will be adding. So just come here, learn about this, and I hope that you will understand, but you will continue working with pipes because I feel like pipes are a very efficient way of doing things. So don't worry, you hang in there, and in my next videos I'll be using pipes, and I will dedicate a certain tutorial in order for pipes so that it can teach you how to use the pipes and something of the sort, but they are very easy to use. So, and another thing that you should look into is this ng Google Places autocomplete and Google Map, because I feel like it has a lot that you can do with. There's a lot that you can do. So just come here, go into this GitHub, just look for a demo, work with them. So that's all now. We need to create a pipe. Just need to come here into our terminal here, and what we'll do is just ng as usual and generate, and this time is pipe. So we just type pipe, and we'll create this folder here called pipes, and this time we'll call our pipe search. Should generate very fast. So that's what I just want to show you there, but before it complete generating our pipe, so we need something here that we called filter text, and we can give it to be string, and now we can give it a value of empty string, just like that. So now we need to create this value, or we need to bind this value to our input here, or this input. Let me show you in our application here. We need to bind with this filter text because we need that text that we'll be inputting here to bind with that, so that we can use it to search here in our data here, or in our parcels. And in our case here, we'll be using track ID, this one. So now what we need to do, just bind with this here. Where is our input? It is above, it is where? So it is up here, somewhere here. So let me locate it. So here now we need to bind with it, and I want to use two-way binding. And if you remember, if we want to use that two-way binding, and we need to do something, we need to bind with this here called ng model, and now we just add here the filter text. It is what we called it. So in our component here we called it filter text. So we need to bind with that filter text here. So now if you just do it like this, we will experience some error because we need to import a module called forms module, and this comes from Angular Forms, and this is because Angular has built everything in it. That's why you can see that we are not installing a lot of external libraries because Angular has built them in it. So when you reload here, you can see we already have this error, and this error is because we have not imported that module. So just come in our module and add that forms module. Let's call forms module, and it should correct. It should be okay now. So you can see now we don't have an error. It has gone. So now we have binded this here input with that. So what we can get now, you can get everything that you can get now this filter text from here. So what we need now to do is just say let me add name here, and we'll just call it filter text. It's not necessary, but I want to add it there. I feel like it's a good way of doing this. So remember we were generating pipes, and you can see now here in our folder we have this pipe. So we need to create our logic here so that it will help us to get what we are searching from our parcels using our track ID. So what I'll do is just show you how to use this parcel here, to use this search here or this pipe here in order to start searching. So we need to just accept the value, and the value should be our array of those parcels from our backend. So what we'll do here, we just add value, and this value should have this. It should be a parcel array, should give that interface, and it is an array, and then arguments here. So we have an argument, and this argument here should be filter text, or we can call it search text, filter text, call it filter text, just like that, and it should be a string. So it should be a string here. And remember, because this transform is a function, it should return a parcel array. That is, it should search through our array, and if it has found that track ID, now it will just return an array that is containing that track ID or something. So let's come here inside here, and what we do, we just say if value dot length, because it is an array, and then say if it is equals to 0, meaning it has nothing, or filter text is equals to empty string. Now what we need to do, we should return the value, meaning that we are not searching anything. Should return the value, which is an array of parcels. So after that, now if not, we need to create a const, and we create a filtered array, and this one should contain parcel here, array, that is, and first of all it should be empty to start with, and then now we need to loop through our array, of value or parcel, just like that. And now inside here you can say if that item, the item dot track id, you can see, because already we have indicated that value is of type parcel array. You can see when we just add dot here, we can see the values. So it is track id, and this track id we should lowercase it, as dot lowercase, just like that. We just lowercase, and we say the index of, just like that, dot index of. And now inside here we can say filter text or filter text dot lowercase, and then we call this function. And then what we need to add here, we'll say is not equal to 1, -1. It should not be -1. This is meaning that it is not in our, or it is in our array. So we just say filtered dot push, and then we give it that item. So after that, now what we need to return here is this filtered. You can call it even filtered array or filtered parcels, just like that. Let me call it filtered parcels, filtered parcel, and this one should be filtered parcels, just like that. It should be okay now. So now you can see what is happening here. So first of all, you get this value. Remember, you are starting from this function called transform, and you get this value, which is an array of parcels, an argument that you want to pass, and the argument that you want to pass is this filter text here, and it is a string. It is of type string, and it should return, remember, this function should return this parcel array. So inside here in our transform function, now this is where you start by looking if this the value or this array here has a length of 0, meaning there is no elements inside it, or there is no parcels inside that array. Or now you can check again if that filter text is equals to null, meaning we haven't added anything, or we are not searching anything. The field is empty, or our input is empty. This input here is just empty. So you return that value. You return the value, just this value here. So which is an array of our parcels. And now if we have, or maybe one of this is not satisfying, maybe this length is more than 1 or more than 0, or maybe filtered text is 1, or it has some string. Now we come here, we create this empty array, before we loop through it, and we get this item. So this item, so you say if this item dot track id here, because we are looking for track id in that item, is you lowercase it, and you say index of filtered. This filter now is a string. You lowercase it, because you need to make it as efficient as possible, because we don't want to have this lowercase and this, or you don't want it to work only with maybe uppercase, or you must type the exact let me say exact text. That is, you need to make it as efficient as possible, because if maybe you are looking for this filter text and you type capitals in your input, then it might not work because this one maybe it has small letters. So that's why we are making them small letters or lowercase, all of them. So it will just lowercase it and say index of filtered text dot lowercase, meaning it will just check if this track ID is equals to this track this string here, and you can just check by giving it this -1. You can just go in your arrays JavaScript array and look for this function that is called index of and see how it is working. When it is returning a -1, meaning it contains the string, or when it is not returning a -1, meaning it contains that string. That's why now we are coming here and say filtered parcels, and we push that item to our filtered parcels, and then after that now we return. I'm hoping you are getting that. So now the only thing that we need to do is just to add this filtered pipe or this search pipe in our application here, and we'll just use it after this pagination. Even this paginate is just a pipe. You can just go and search on it and learn more about it. So after this now, here we just come and add our pipe. So to use pipe, you need to use the pipe sign in our computer here, and it is above our backslash, and you can hold shift and then click that backslash, and it will just add that pipe sign there. So our pipe, it is called search, and we want to give this search filtered text, just like that, as simple as that. So now we can just start searching in our array. So now let's reload our application here and see if it will work for us. So let's see, we are having some error. Let me see where the error is coming from, and it's telling us no pipe found with the name search. So we need to add this parcel, we need to import it here. So import, actually remember we should not import it, we just, let me first of all come here and we can just try and autocomplete for us. So let's do let's add it here now folder, and then let's add that sign and say search, and this should be of type search, and then we say filter text, just like that. And let's see if it is that is the name of our pipe. So just open here and you can see the name is search, so we are correct there. So now let's see if it will get that search pipe there. So here we have this error, and I first of all paused the video so that I can see where the error is coming from, and I forgot something that is crucial. And what we need to do, remember, we need to add here in our admin.module.ts here, we need to add that search pipe here, so that, because for now it can't get it. Yeah, and remember, it is not in our import, it should be in declaration. So what we need to do here, we just come and add search pipe, can add it just like that, and now this should correct the error now. So when you reload, you should see now we don't have any error. So now let's start and just search if we can we can get the parcel that we want. Maybe we want a parcel that contains 36. You can see it is searching. It have a 19. We can get the parcel that start with 19. If we don't have like the parcel that maybe start with 0, or the parcel that has 0, you can see, or we can just type any random number and see it's getting the one that has that. But maybe let's say we don't have our parcel that start with 1, 2, 3, just like that, and see it is showing you that there is no parcel that has that track ID. So this is what I wanted to show you, and how to use pipe. Pipe is very, very crucial. You need to learn how to use it, because now imagine we could have made a request to our database to search this from our database. Now we could search this parcel through these parcels using track ID, which will make a lot of requests for a very retro thing. So that's why I wanted to show you this pipe so that you can use it. So you can see even pagination, they are using the pipe. So just work on them, just look at them, run them if you haven't used them, and I know you'll be great with time. So you can see this is a pipe called paginate, and it is getting these two values here, or these arguments here. You can go ahead and look for this paginate pipe. You'll see how they have implemented it, and now when I push my code, you can look how I have added this search filter text. Anyway guys, I showed you what I wanted to show you on this video, and hoping that you have gotten some value out there. You have seen me making mistakes, which is really, really great, and how I'm just going and look for solutions, which is the day and work life of a software developer. So if you have gained any value here, just comment, like, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You already know what is coming next. See you in that video.